Hello, this is Miss Stapp. I'm creating a video series of 2 for personal project supervisors. So if you're a personal project supervisor, you're in the right place. What you're going to be doing at this portion is receiving an email from your student with their personal project report, and you will be looking at that report against the rubric. Now, the first thing I need to tell you is that you are not giving your students a grade. Even if they ask, please do not give them a grade or even a grade suggestion. What you are going to be doing is looking at that report against the rubric strand by strand and giving them feedback about what they can do to improve. And this year it's especially important that if they've done something well, could you tell them that as well in addition? Um, On that lines, the first thing I'd like to do in this video is thank you for everything that you have done for your students. They have told me about how much support that you have given. And especially this year, the students have reached out for you not only for help with personal project, but probably a little emotional stability as well. So thank you from the students and myself for how gracious you've been with not only your time, but your ear. So that said, this video is going to be in 2 parts. This first part is for the teachers who are familiar with the IB rubrics and the command terms. And I'm going to very quickly go over again what you should be looking for as you move through this rubric and look at the report. I've made another video for those teachers, and I have a little bit of a different rubric for you. It's a task-based rubric that we've used to help the students understand how to write to these command terms and write to each noun really in the strand so that they're getting everything they need in. And this might help you a little bit more, again, if you're a first-time teacher or if this is your first time working with personal project. Okay. Very quickly, teachers, let's look at our criterion here. We've got A through D. These students have to write a portion for each strand. So they'll have something there that is around strand 1, A1, A2, and A3. They may or may not have that labeled thus. It may say criterion A strand 1. It may just be about that and they've have some other heading. So as you move through, keep that in mind. You might have to look a little bit. I have told the students that they need to be very clear about naming things as the rubric states. So hopefully that will help you find everything that they have intended to put into each strand. So when we're looking at criterion A1 investigating, it says that they are to define a clear goal and global context for the project based on personal interest. It's been difficult for the students to understand that they have to make sure that they have each of these pieces in the written report. They can, of course, tell you to go to the appendix to find more information, okay? But that is something we'll get to in just a minute. Let's look at the difference between this A1 at a 1-2 level and at a 7-8 level. One of the things you need to keep in mind is that they are fulfilling the command term. And if you're unfamiliar with those command terms, I'll go over those a little bit more in the next video. So at a 1-2, they are simply stating the goal. There's probably a sentence there. It tells you exactly what the goal is. The global context for the project is also stated. And they have something about the personal interests. However, at a 1-2 level, this is all limited in depth. When you get to the 7-8, they should have developed. And as you know, developed is more than a statement. It has evidence. It has examples from what they have done. It is also highly challenging. Not only can you clearly understand exactly what that goal is, even if it's divided up into levels, you can understand that there's a research portion, that there's an action portion, that they've also packaged the product in order to share it with people outside of themselves. So it's clear what they're doing and what those layers are, but it is highly challenging. And there's several ways that students can share that it's highly challenging in this report. One of those ways is that they show you these different layers that I talked about, that it's more than just an action, that they've had a research portion, and that they're also doing something with a product in order to share it and show the impact outside of themselves. But they can also might talk to you about rubrics that they've set up, rubrics that they've created that show what this goal would be at on a basic level and what it would be at on a challenging level. They also might talk to you about learning in class about the difference between a basic goal and a challenging goal and how they incorporated that into the project. The last way we've taught them how to show that things are challenging and excellent are to talk about your baseline, those things that you had at the beginning of this project and what you needed in order to be successful at this project, or those skills that you developed in order to be successful. When we talk about excellent in the next video that I've created, sometimes they might talk to you about the baseline, where they started, and all that they had achieved or had to acquire in order to be be at that mastery level of the skills they needed to um, gain in order to successfully meet their goal. And so that is how we demonstrate that something is challenging, that you took it from a baseline and you gained all these skills, or that you used a rubric to show that. But you have to make sure that they talk about the goal, they talk about the global context, and that it is all based on personal interests. All right, that is the way we go through and we pick apart each of these strands and make sure that the student has demonstrated in their report each piece in order to get that higher score, and how you can look at the report in order to tell the student what they are missing or what they've done well. We don't mind how you give them this feedback. You can create a little table if you want for feedback and have each strand in it and drop what kind of things they need to do in order to enhance the report. I would even write directly on that PDF with my laptop, make some little notes right on it for them. So whatever you do, whatever you think is the easiest for yourself and the easiest for your student to understand and use that feedback is the best. If you have any questions about this, please email me and let me know, and I will help you as soon as possible. You should be getting this report very soon. And again, well, I'm always there to help. So thank you for everything you've done, and your students look forward to your feedback.